Spiritual awakenings and the three main phases. On the videos that I have on my YouTube channel, you can find, as you go through the list, you will find different stages of the spiritual awakenings. But on this video, I'm explaining a bit the main phases of spiritual awakenings, how while we are going through the spiritual awakenings, what is shifting and what are these phases, three main phases that encompass also the stages in between that I'm explaining on the other videos. So the three main phases of spiritual awakenings have to do with the first one, how we are starting to awaken to understand how our reality is being created. So we start with understanding that, hey, this is not okay, and we are going through deep emotions, intense emotions, heavy emotions, of understanding that everything has been created from this life since our childhood up until now. Some beliefs that were created and conditioning that was created in us through our parents' lives, through our parents' perception, through the experiences we had and went through from since we were born up to school, up to teenage years, up to early adulthood. In these spaces, we start recognizing the things that went wrong. And by saying that, I mean how specific beliefs were created, how a lot of pain or sadness or frustration or the feelings of abandonment, betrayal, not receiving love, not enough love, not in the way we understand and want to receive love, have been created through our own experiences and through the people we have been connected in our lives. Most of the times it starts from family, it starts from surroundings, from school, from teachers, from schoolmates and friends and relatives, and we get into a space of blaming. That blaming, I'm using air quotes because it's not exactly blaming. This is what they did to me. It's not like that. It has to do with understanding when something occurred, what was the situation, how we stored it, because as children we didn't have any filters on, okay, and understanding the perception, understanding and expanding our perception of what is actually love, how some feelings, emotions have been suppressed. It wasn't appropriate for us to feel that or to share with that feeling something with someone else or being this or being that, or through religions that's not allowed, that's not permitted. And you are getting into a space of recognizing your own truth, when you felt it, when you experienced it, what is actually love, that some of the things that people call love isn't necessarily love, or they are coming from a space of this and that, and I do this because I care for you, and boom, and you're getting, oh, damn, this is how I have connected the feeling of love with something that is painful. And this has nothing to do with love. And this is why I'm attracting this kind of people in my life. And this is why this is happening to me, or this is why I chose this kind of job in my life career, or this is how I choose partners in my life, or this is why I'm close friends with these people because, oh my goodness, this is how I have perceived love so far. And it's mostly the realizations at the stage you are currently in. And because something tough, something intense has happened, something that shook you off your space and told you, hey, you're not well where you are at. This is not a good space to be, and look at your life and look at how you feel. There's something off. Don't you realize it here? So in that space, we start receiving realizations, we start having realizations. This is not like that. This is not like this. This is not okay. And this is not. And all of these realizations generate a trigger that allows all the suppressed emotions and even new emotions to arise because we are realizing what is and what isn't, and what we have been believing so far that was as normal, as real, it actually isn't. As okay, as tolerable as, yes, that's not a problem in that. So we are getting into that space in the first phase of realizing all the things that have gone wrong so far, wrong again in air quotes, all the things that are not in alignment with us, or the things we thought and someone else may have made you believe that this is normal because they have accepted it in their reality as normal, and you are awakening to your own soul's wisdom and knowledge that this is not normal anymore. And because of this realization, a lot of emotions, again, I'm saying this, are generated in a huge, intense way. You may feel that I'm being hit, I'm very vulnerable, and I don't know how to take care of myself, where to protect myself from. Everyone may feel like an enemy around you, that they want to hurt you, that they want something from you, that even not feeling real love coming from those people you always trusted. So that is the first stage, and blaming others, it is kind of normal. Don't be afraid of pointing the finger if you wish in that stage. You have to remove as much shame and guilt as possible when we are going through these stages of transformation, because you have to figure out your own truth. If you limit yourself, if you stop yourself, because this is not a good thought to have, this is mean, this is negative, this is not okay for me to experience it, you're gonna be stopping your own growth and your own change. And that in that space, it doesn't mean that you have to remove yourself from everyone. In the old days, people used to isolate easier, and we have seen many spiritual leaders so far that they could isolate themselves. But that's not okay as a solution even now. We are going through stages of isolation where we need to reorganize everything within us. We need to declutter. We need to understand ourselves, to ask for guidance, to receive that within ourselves and build the trust within ourselves. But these are only stages and phases, and it can't be a complete isolation from everyone and everything around you. So yes, keep yourself in a safe space when you feel it, as you feel it when it comes to you, and know that this is okay as a stage, it is normal. The second phase we are going through in the spiritual awakenings, it has to do with feeling that this is the time now that I have to take responsibility and ownership of my life. I don't need to blame anyone. I don't feel like that anymore. I don't need even to blame myself for choosing this as a life, as a conditioning, as circumstances that I chose as a soul to incarnate. And of course, believe me, we don't have all the specifics while we are choosing what we want to experience in this lifetime. Of course, there is that unknown factor that exists in everything. We are not all knowing beings, and we're not being advised by all-knowing beings either. So in that space, you start finding forgiveness, you start finding understanding, you start finding acceptance. And with that acceptance, you recall your power back by not blaming anyone, by not trying to find whose fault is this. And you don't even find fault in yourself. You stop seeing things are bad and good, as positive and negative. You start seeing them for what they are, knowing and having a discernment of what is okay and what is not okay for you, what is in alignment with you, what is not in alignment with you. This is a different kind of discernment, okay? And in that space, while you are reclaiming a lot of your power back, you are getting to awaken to your own desires, to your own needs, and what you believe and feel would be a good experience for you in your life. This is a beautiful state to be, where you start setting goals, and even different goals from what you thought you had in mind for yourself. You start seeing the world from a different perspective. You answer the callings of your soul, of what excites you. This is the calling, this is the purposes we have. What excites me, what makes me feel in alignment with myself, what makes me happy, what I want to be doing. I don't want a normal day job. 8 to 5, for example. I want something else, more in the flow. I want to be of service for others. I want to be helping others with readings, with messages, with mediumship, with healing. It is up to you and being creative in that space of what you want to be sharing and how you want to be sharing yourself, your knowledge, your wisdom with the world. Everything makes a difference. So, having that complete, that doesn't mean that through the phase 1 and phase 2, we are not still going through different stages that are very similar and very alike. Have that in mind. Now, moving on to stage 3, not stage, phase 3. Phase 3 has to do with accession in a different way than before. Accession of the spirit, discernment of the soul, the unity within, of handling any wounds, anything that shows up from this lifetime, other incarnations, or anything else in a different way, because now you have all the tools built in and you have the trust within yourself that everything you need will come to you at the right time, in the right way, and you will be able to handle this as smooth as possible, and it won't be occupying so much of your time and your space when as phase 1 and phase 2. It comes more in a way of being in the flow in a different way. Phase 1 and phase 2 have to do a lot with shadow work, with connecting dots, with understanding what to release, what is the new mindset I need to keep, how to release my feelings about that, how to change my perspectives, how to understand my soul's gifts, and how I can answer my soul's callings, how I can be of service, awakening to all of these things. But phase 3, I keep saying states, phase 3 has to do with being more connected, more in the oneness feeling, more in alignment with yourself and the earth and your highest self and your soul and your spirit being connected into one in unity and union. So you are getting into a different kind of flow of things. Still, we're putting in work, but not as much as it is before on phase 1 and phase 2. So the third phase has to do with more creativity and expansion and being in a space of allowance within self and getting into knowing truly how to trust, how to surrender, how to go with the flow without getting attached with anything at all. Not even your soul, your cell phone, your own devices, okay? Not even with things, not even with people, not even with specific outcomes. So I'm doing something because I expect something, I'm creating something. This is my goal, this is where I want to reach. This is why I've been doing this. You're getting detached from the outcome. So you're getting detached from everything as a feeling and you're getting into a different alignment, following that inner voice, no matter where it leads you. And of course, it will be still scary. Okay, it is still scary. It is still some kind of a challenge where you have to break through what you know of as safe, as my comfort place, my comfort zone. And you're getting to change and shift a lot faster, a lot easier, and more in the flow of things without questioning everything, without doubting everything. I hope this clarifies a lot. And I'm being told that all these three phases can actually be in a space of going through the one and a bit of the second and getting to the third step phase more grounded, and then again a bit of the second phase and again at the third phase. So we are going through a lot of different small phases from the main phases where we are going a bit to that. Oh, we realize that we go faster to the second phase and then we ground ourselves to the third phase. So nothing is linear. I think you already know that. Nothing is extremely linear, at least, and nothing is set in stone. So we are learning and we are navigating and we are getting in the flow of what is in front of us without getting attached. Yes, now I have overcome that phase and I am in a good space with myself. Not the case. It becomes easier to ground and to sink in a lot of knowledge, wisdom, alignment in a different way, in your energy, knowing who you are and awakening more to who you are. But it takes a bit of time, and all these stages are helpful because we are shifting and transforming in a huge way. I hope this helped you. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. And from these phases that I've mentioned, the three main phases, which one resonates with you at the moment, which is the phase you are part of at this particular moment, and how you feel it, how you experience it. And know that sometimes we go through phase one, phase two, phase one, phase two. It's not linear, unfortunately. It would be nice to have bullet points checked, 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 but it's not exactly like that, the human experience at least. And I hope to see and connect with some of you on a private session. See you on the next video.